imagine the street value of all this stuff. Everybody, welcome to Grown Man Record Night and a special solo edition of the program. It's the first week of the year. Just went back to work after a long ass vacation. What the hell happens? Major snowstorm across the southeast. Jay was actually over here earlier. He was supposed to do the program with me this evening. And it started snowing too bad. Jay had to take off. He's got a rear wheel drive car, Mustang. It's got a big steering wheel. That's what Jay looks like when he drives. And so he didn't want to risk his biscuit by waiting over here too long, so he took off. And then I'm like, well, shit. I guess I'll just do a solo program. And you know what? I wasn't going to do a program at all this week because it snowed, and I usually have to work during the snow. Somehow I worked out to where that is not an issue at the moment, and I don't really know how that worked out. I'm very happy that it did. So I'm realigning my windows here. I like to have my windows aligned a certain way. So yeah, first of the year, man. It's been crazy going back to work and doing all that shit, and then it's monster snowstorm. It drops all the snow all over the place. But I had my 40th birthday on Tuesday, so I'm officially 40. My parents got me a cake. It had a little mini xylophone on it. With a little, it comes with a working xylophone and a saxophone that makes it. That's not as cool as a xylophone, but it is a saxophone. It was on my birthday cake that I ate it. I did all that on it because I turned 40. So speaking of the first of the year, I want to bring up something, something I did a little bit on vacation, and I'm curious to how other people do this kind of shit. Like on my phone is, I've got it up to 32 gigs now, which is quite substantial, but for any type of music collector or people that are really into music, it can be not as substantial as you want it to be. So every so often I'll rotate some of the stuff that I have on my phone, and I incorporate some new stuff I picked up, whether it be like CDs and shit I get at Goodwills and whatnot. I'm wondering how often you folks rotate or update your current digital devices that you take with you, like in the car and shit like that, because I mean, records are the king and blah blah blah, but you can't play a record in your automobile. So how often do you guys shake it up? Are you able to carry everything you own on one device all at one time? I think Steve does that. He's got a great big old iPod, but and mine's 32, but hell, I'm still leaving shit out. I mean, shit. I'm still leaving stuff out on there. But hey man, we appreciate you joining us. Like I said, I didn't think I was gonna do a show tonight. So this has just caught me off guard. I may even be catching a bug. I think I may be running a fever right now. Not a Steve fever, like a virus fever. It could be bacteria because I'm pretty dirty. I can be dirty at times. So anyhow, hope everybody's having a safe one. Good first of the year. And we started out playing some great songs and stuff this evening. A couple things I wanted to mention that were actually some of the stuff I played. In music news, if you would have it, the Doors' first album, 50 years old this week. And I was like, oh, I got that shit. I got a nice clean copy of that. So I played this mug, it's side one, which has, you know, Break On Through and Light My Fire on some of the Kings on the album. Not my favorite Doors stuff, but definitely a killer album. And for me, you know, I'm of the age where I didn't grow up with the Doors or anything like that. So I don't know a lot. I didn't grow up knowing a lot about them. So for my first, I mean, you know, start getting into kind of weirder music, a little older, high school era. I probably first, other than just hearing it on classic rock radio, The Doors to me invokes memories of the movie The Doors. For me, Jim Morrison is, I mean, it has a very strong connection, almost sounds blasphemous, but Val Kilmer. To me, Val Kilmer is Jim Morrison. Like in that movie, really, that's right when I started, like, you know, hanging out around early college, you know, getting into weird music, playing a lot of weird music, and hanging out, you know what we're talking about here. And so you start like tripping out on music and stuff. And the Doors, I mean, when you first hear the Doors and you're kind of, you know, in the right phase of Page, that's some killer stuff. But for me, I first kind of learned about that from the movie, and you know, like got deep into it. So it's weird that my connection to the Doors really stems from a fictional representation thereof, which is kind of weird. And especially for older kids, somebody like Steve, that's just like, are you kidding me? That's just ridiculous. But for somebody like me and Jay's age, that could be pretty, and Cameron, that could be pretty accurate, because that was, you know, we knew of the Doors, and then you know, the movie comes out right around your teenage years where you're kind of branching out. But hell, fire, shit, fire. You know, I played a little, you know, in the middle of this stack of stuff that I played this evening. And I mean, I'll throw the damn graphic up, but I wanted to just kind of pull this, you know what? No, F it. I'm just going to go to what we played. Now, when I get to it in the stack, I'll discuss it. There's a couple of tracks in a row that we played that I want to discuss a little bit further. But in classic Grown Man Record Night fashion, guess I probably crashed out pretty early after the show. Last week's show, the 200th anniversary, man, what a great time that was, man. Epic show, long as F. Had a good time, had a lot of great people over here. And speaking of which, Boss Man and Kimmy, they left some of this Midnight Moonshine. It's it's got a little bow on the top of it. They brought it over for the 200th episode. Some of that apple pie moonshine. And they kind of left it over here. I think they got it for some dog sitting. Someone will take me a little raunch. Hey, hell, folks, I may end up sitting in the snow this weekend and telling everybody about it. But for right now, I'm just looking right down into this apple pie and thinking about what it means to be an American. And congratulations, how's it feel to be an all-American? Delicious. I can pour it over pancakes is what I can do. It's so delicious. Woo! Throwing the hooks, baby. So we left a record on the turntable last week. I didn't even know, all week I didn't really pass through here. Pretty busy week, you know, getting back to it. And this Volto record was still on the turntable. Steve had thrown it on one of my records. And holy Lord, this Volto, if you've never heard that, if you're a fan of the program, you've probably heard it for sure. But it's a Danny Carey from Tool. It's kind of like his prog, a little heavy. It's got elements of Tool at times, like prog fusion type group he put together. And it's a funny story about this. If you've never heard me tell it, some of you have. That's one of those. A couple of years ago, the girlfriend, we were talking about Christmas presents or whatever, and I'm like, you know, what's on your list? What are you looking for? And you know, I mentioned a couple of records, and I'm like, oh, and there's this. I learned about this thing called Volto. Danny Carey from Tool. She's a big Tool fan. You know, this group, blah blah blah. I was like, but you'd never be able to find that. There's only like a couple for sale, and those are end to end and blah blah blah. Well, she found it, got it to me for Christmas. It was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome find for her for sure. Speaking of which, girlfriend kind of wants to buy me a little something for my birthday. It's coming up, but she don't just willy-nilly buy me records because, you know, I'm getting kind of, we got a lot of records going on up here, so you can't, you know, you can't just get anything. And, you know, this local store has Outside Inside, the Blue Cheer record. I've really been looking at it. It's one of the ones that's up on the wall. It's got like $30 on it, though. I just don't know. That is something that's really, really high on my list, and even though somebody else will be paying for it, $30 is a little, I don't know, kind of hurts my feelings a little bit. So I don't know. I'm just talking, folks. Hell, I don't know. I'm by myself in my house, talking into a thing to people on the internet. That's what I'm doing. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I don't even know what to say about it. Best of Herman's Hermits. It was a dig of the week. Picked up real cheap. You know, it's pretty good. You know, I had a couple tracks on it. And I played the side that didn't have Henry VIII and Mrs. Brown. You Have a Lovely Daughter or whatever the hell. Which I love those songs too. But they're, you know, you've heard those. You've heard oldies radio. You've heard those songs. But played the other side. Heard some songs I'd not heard before. You know, at times they can be a little sappy, a little cornball, but there's little elements of psychedelia to Herman's Hermits, I think. Just from time to time, within the little pop framework that they have, you hear little, you know, kind of elements of psychedelia in there, which I think is kind of cool. And it definitely makes for enjoyable songs to listen to. You know, it's not the best shit ever, but hell, I bought it. Hell. I noticed, I don't think I've said the F word yet this show. I'm doing pretty good. You think it's a legit $30 record, MT? You know, I looked it up on Discogs. This is probably a clean copy. It's probably first press. It's probably, and it's an important record for me, and it's got a great story, and I just really enjoy the whole thing behind the record, recording it inside and recording it outside. Oh, I want it so bad. And it's not like I'm no baller, but I'm no poor gentleman either. I mean, if I want a $30 record, I could go buy one. It just, you know, it just hurts my feelings to think I'm not getting the best deal ever in the whole world, ever. So, I don't know. I played this. This is a Ramsey Lewis trio. I was just flipping through the stack, and I'm like, all right, bet. I've not played. It's a Ramsey Lewis trio with a Rolls Royce thing. It's a choice! Exclamation marker. The best of the Ramsey Lewis trio, and I think Jay gave me this, if I'm not mistaken. Cadet. It's a Cadet compilation from Chicago, Illinois. Go Cubs. I don't know what year this is from. Please excuse me. I'm really sorry, everybody. Please. If you don't mind. But it's a great little, and that's the trio. It's the best of the trio, so not just the best of Ramsey Lewis, but of the trio. So some of that earlier, more jazzy, traditional jazzy stuff before it got kind of fusiony and funky and blah, blah, blah. Good stuff, like all of it. This was, yes, sir. This is that first Wasp record. And interesting, I was telling, me and Jay was having a conversation about this album earlier in the evening. And I really enjoyed this. We played side one tonight. And I really enjoyed playing it. And it's funny because I was telling Jay, when I was a little kid, I told the story, you know, I saw some like bad kids at the mall. They were talking about Wasp, and they bought it, and you heard people say, we are Satan's people, and blah, blah. And you know, for the longest time, it would have been the stupid thing to listen to. A couple, 3, 4 years ago, I would have listened to it like under the premise of like, oh, this is funny, I'm kind of effed up. It's kind of a cornball record. That's a fun record to listen to. Skip forward to present day. I actually like it for the music, and I really like what they got. I think it's a good record. It's a fun record to listen to, and it's not in the way that I like some actual cornball records. You know, that's not a cornball record. I think it's it's a good legit rock record. It's got elements of hair metal in there, sure, but it's I enjoy it, and I think it's very musically. It's laid out pretty appropriately. It's a good record, just all the way through the way they did shit. I'm not I'm not mad at it. Speaking of not mad at, Ornette Coleman Change of the Century. I think we said that was the fourth Coleman, third or fourth. I can't remember. Something I picked up last week, kind of a beat cover. Record's a little poppier than I expected it to be for $10. But you know, it's Ornette, and once it kind of smoothed itself out a little bit, the quiet part's got a little pop to it. But still really, really glad to have that as a part of my collection. Good about it. Hey, Jay left this record behind. He already had it queued up when he went out and saw the snow and was like, F this S, I'm getting in my Mustang and big steering wheel, driving out of here. That's what Jay said. He even sung it like that, I promise. But he already had this on the table. Super Bowl Shuffle. We're going to play the extended version as a one-off. And we did that, even though we did it, even though as Jay was driving and I was sitting over here doing stuff. Man, everybody knows it's got the fridge on it, but we're talking about like Willie Gault, Michael Richardson, Gary Fensick. Is this signed? Looks like somebody signed this. Jim McMahon, who I thought was cool as shit. Walter Payton, Steve Fuller, Otis Wilson, Mike Singletary, Richard Dent, of course the fridge. Cool. I would enjoy it. I mean, that's not a rare or expensive record. I'd like to have that. Shit. Oh, you know, top 10 song for me. We played off of this. Deep Purple in Rock was something Jay picked up for me. He texted me. He was like, "Didn't you want this?" And I'm like, "F yeah, I wanted it." And man, I played my favorite song. Top 10 song for me for sure. Child in Time, easily. Did I play this last week? I probably played this did I play this last week? I got to this and I was like, man, I'm gonna start with it. I'm gonna do like a couple of like one-offs. And I was like, did I play this? And I may have played it already. But you know, Twister, it's in Twister, but not on the soundtrack. We already talked about that. What a great song. What a great album. What a great burger. You guys like burgers? I'm a big burger guy. I like a good burger. I don't eat them very often. I'm fat without doing that, but I like a good burger. About this time of year, I like a good must burger. Football! That's what football looks like. You guys ever seen it? They take pictures of it on TV. Often. So I wanted to play, because it's snowing outside. It's snowing so hard. So I'm like, hey man, let me see what kind of like snow songs I got in my damn shit. And I looked up a couple like came to my mind real quick, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then I like couldn't think of any more. I'm like, I'm sure there's a bazillion songs about snow, and but I could not think of any. And you know, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of thinking about this. I'll pull these couple out and I'll play them, and then we'll just move on because I'm done with it. Fleetwood Mac, and yes, we played Fleetwood Mac, the first song, and I played Landslide because it's a snow song. Herka-derka. Yeah, man, we played a little snow. I love that song, to be fair. Not to mention, if you've never heard the Smashing Pumpkins version of that, that's pretty good too, to be honest. But you know, I like that song. It's a cornball radio song, and that's funny because knowing Stevie Nicks' history, that song, I was like, oh, that's about cocaine, and they're like, oh no, it's about, you know, our life and kids, life, and I'm like, wait, are you serious? Landslide, snow-covered, I see my reflection, you know, like the mirror you're cutting lines out on. And she was like the biggest cokehead ever. That's totally a coke song. I was like, no, bro, it's about life. Like, I don't know. And she apparently she said something else about it. But to me, I heard that and I'm like, oh, that's cocaine. Whatever. It can be about whatever she wants it to be. It ain't none of my damn business, to be honest with you. I don't even know why I'm talking about it. Ain't none of my be. She can write songs about Muppets or puppets, whatever she likes. And the other song I thought about, I'm like, oh yeah, Snow Song. Mountain, Nantucket Sleigh Ride. Sleigh Ride, you gotta be in the snow, bro. So I played that one song. Love some Mountain, for crying out loud. Who doesn't love Mountain? That's like the origin of desert and stoner rock and shit like that. With a nice fuzzed out, just beef burger licks coming at you from Mountain, always. It's never a bad time to play some Mountain. And you know, right before we did, well, I got a couple more. This I pulled out. This was a dig of the week last week. Got it from that kind of a little upper end place that I shopped. Pickwick. It's got to be I don't know. 72-ish, I think it was. Pickwick thing they did for Chuck Berry called Wild Berries. Got a bunch of those kind of a weirder, more obscure Chuck Berry songs on it. I really do love You So Long. Stark in there. Good Loving Woman, My Woman, 30. I mean, there's no Johnny B. Good, there's no Maybelline and that kind of shit on there, which is cool because I have that on other shit, so that's great. And those you know, some of my favorite songs ever. But it's kind of like Hendrix. I love that they have all these like weird off-label compilations of stuff, and some of it's live, and some of it's tracks they didn't release on the other albums. Even though sometimes they don't sound that good, this one sounds pretty good. People hate on Pickwick. Fuck off. I don't know where people get this from. This album sounded terrific. I've got an Animals Pickwick. Sounds great. There's another Chuck Berry Cameraman gave me. It's Pickwick. It sounds terrific. I don't know where that comes from, but it sounds better than some of the like brand new shit I buy today. For sure. For sure. But yeah. This was a great record. We played one side that, man, got a comment about this. It's a great record. And to finish off what we played, yeah, Snowbird, Anne Murray. I thought about that too there, Nate. It was on a list I pulled up, and I'm sure it is. I've got it. But to be honest, it's in my baloney stack. The baloney stack is not alphabetized. That would have required much more time on my knees than I like without being down at the docks. So I opted to not look for my Anne Murray record. But you're right, that is a good. I did think of that. I did think of that. Rocky IV soundtrack. Get some. It's time to do the show. We're gonna do a little record program on the internet. Let's get hype for it. Stretch it out. Get those muscles lean, loose, ready to compete. And this is the record you do that with, because Jesus Christ told me to. I don't really know what else to tell you about it. Oh, Jesus. That is what we played. And by we, I mean, you know, me. No, Jay was over here, so we, you know, me and Jay played some stuff. Now, for dig of the week this week, I got some great stuff I picked up, and I really wasn't going to blow through this stack all tonight, but I might now, because, you know, I might just go ahead and do all of it now, and next week maybe I'll hold back and we'll let Jay and Steve, hopefully they'll be around if we're not underwater over with the blizzard. Maybe we'll let Jay and Steve take the dig of the week next week, and I'll contribute if I find something at a thrift store or whatnot. But for this week, there's some record albums that I picked up along my route this week. I was all over the Piedmont Triad, and appreciative of not be out there at the moment and standing in the snow. And so I was over in this city I visit ever so often. And there's a couple of good Goodwills in this city. And I hit those pretty regularly when I'm there, which can be months apart sometimes. It just depends how things lie. And so I'm over there and I put the Goodwill in my phone. No. I'm sorry. I was over there. I did some work. And in between one work stop, I had number 2 work stop. And they were like expecting me. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I put the thing in. And I'm driving over to the other spot. And as I'm driving there, and I already planned on going to the Goodwill after the thing. And I looked and it said like something church missionary thrift store. Which it's funny, I've never seen a doggy style thrift store. It's always like missionary thrift store. I don't know what the deal with that is. These sex jokes doing anything for anybody? I don't like sex jokes. I'm pretty, you know, I don't like sex jokes. But anyhow, that was funny, right? So I'm driving, I'm at a stoplight, and I'm like, thrift store? Oh man. Pulled in there. Went in there. It's an actually pretty legit thrift store. Pretty damn big. Bigger than some of the stuff around that area, Goodwill's included. So I go through their records, and it's funny. Very soulful thrift store, for sure. Because the stuff they had in there was either like kind of black gospel music, which I love. And it was in a little better shape. And they had some traditional gospel stuff in there too, Christmas records and the like. And the other was they had more funk records than I had seen at a thrift store in a while. And a lot of them, like most funk records, you guys know we've talked about this before on the program, not in the best of shape because people play them hard. They're at parties. You put those shit on when you're like having drinks and having people over. And people bump the turntables and the shit, you know, flies everywhere. But I did find some stuff that, you know, I own in my funk collection that I really like. I was like, oh, this is a good sign. Old Peter Frampton. I saw some other kind of weird electro funk stuff. But what I ended up getting, the stuff was 50 cents a piece over there. So we're talking bargain B type situations here. 50 cents a piece on these guys. I picked up 3 Herbie Hancock records. Now it's not like it's not the super early Herbie stuff. The first one was Monster from 1980. It's his 29th album. How many albums does this cat follow up to the Feats album? Avoided jazz and funk in favor of disco songs only. Oh shit. Track Stars in Your Eyes was issued extended 11/2012 at single. So this is disco. Had the best cover of any of it, I thought, even though that somebody wrote something stupid on it. But look, that's got a great little back cover. So this is, I know Herbie Hancock disco. I don't know. We'll see. Now the next one I picked up, these were all like in a line here. Magic Windows. It's the 32nd album by Herbie Hancock. Personnel includes Wah Watson, Ray Parker Jr., as in like who you're gonna call Ghostbusters, and some other cats on here. But this is 81. Herbie Hancock, and I love that. I mean, I love the jazzy, fusiony, funky Herbie Hancock, but I love the 80s electro Herbie Hancock just as much. I mean, and not even as far forward as like Rocket, which is obviously a very seminal record. But it's, I love that early 80s electro sound in general, and Herbie Hancock does it really well. He was on an episode of Cosby Show, I remember, had his big glasses on, and was playing stuff. The other one I got is called Light Me Up, also Herbie Hancock. 33rd album, released in 82. It's the last of his disco pop. So this is fucking disco too. See, I said the F word, sorry. It's got a very denim dick picture on the back. You can clearly see his African-American denim dick member in this picture. I'm not for or against that. I'm just saying I'm here to state the facts and get it clear for everybody. It's got a lot of that same lineup. Ray Parker Jr. played on a lot of these, and I think I knew that, and I kind of forgot it. And then I remembered it, and I forgot it, and now all my records falling down, and then I forgot it. Get out of there! Get out of there, record! Shit! Get out of there. I don't want to talk about you anymore. Get out of the record. I don't want to talk about you anymore. So I went over to Underdog Records in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, earlier in the week, and got a good chance to hang out with Jonathan, the owner. I've not been in there in a good while for various reasons, being on vacation for a couple weeks and been really busy before that. I didn't get a chance to go in there, and we got a good chance to hang out and exchange some holiday stories and talk about music, and really good to catch up with Jonathan. Always a pleasure. And this is one of the rare times I looked through everything he had. I spent like a whole lunch break in here, so like a full hour looking at records, talking, telling stories, looking at records, talking to us. And then I had so much extra time, I did everything I wanted to, and I was still kind of hanging out. So then I went down and actually went to the dollar records, which I don't do a lot because there's a lot of classical. I like classical music, but there's a lot of classical and the cornball Goodwill records that you're like, for $1. But I found good stuff there before too, for sure. And I zip through there, and this thing popped up. A what? The Ahmad Jamal Trio. This is the first Ahmad Jamal Trio record. It's like 51. Some of this it was released in 56, I think it is. But a lot of this stuff was recorded in 51 and 55. Early mono shit. The back is split, so I may use the old Chris Brzezinski Dixieland Farm hot glue treatment. I mean, the cover's not even in bad shape except for the seam is split on, so it's open on both ends. And it's on Epic. It's that black and yellow mono Epic shit from the 50s. Great, man. And I was gonna be like, hey, I wanted to hear it first because it's a dollar record, and I know sometimes dollar records are dollar records because they're dollar records. So I was going to be like, hey, man, do you mind if I put a dollar record on your listening station turntable? I don't want to, put something haggard on there and, destroy the needle you got on there. But as I looked at it, I'm like, I don't think you'd have a problem with this. And listened to it, and I'm like, there's not a damn thing wrong with this record. It plays, I mean, VG probably. I wouldn't say VG plus, but it's VG. But with this, just a cut spine, the spleen, the cleam. That's a word, right? You guys like that word? You like that word because I said you do. And I said, you know what? I may be sitting around trying to do a program by myself, and I need some drinking songs. Everybody needs some good drinking songs. Shit. And I ran across an Underdog Records. A Merle Haggard I don't have. This is called Merle Haggard Back to the Barrooms. It's the 31st. Jesus, these guys we've talked about tonight have put out some damn records. 31st studio album. And it was much like a hearkening back to the drinking songs that Merle Haggard is so famous for. This is known as like the best drinking song Merle Haggard album, with songs like Misery and Gin, Back to the Barroom Again. I'm kind of zip through here. I Don't Want to Sober Up Tonight, Can't Break This Habit. I think I'll just stay here and drink. I mean, we love, me and Cameron especially, we love some like good old school country whiskey drinking songs, baby. And you don't get no better than damn Merle Haggard. And I'm not as familiar with this. I should be. Okie from Muskogee, I'm real familiar with. This one, not as much. And when I looked it up, it's like, oh no, that's the drinking song album. I'm like, oh my God. What? Now, I got one more I picked up. A friend of mine gave me some music a long time ago, Rory Gallagher. You guys know Rory Gallagher? Blues rockman, Irish guy. And Underdog had this up there. It just come in. And it says VG, and I know when Underdog says VG, it's like totally fine. This is Blueprint, a Rory Gallagher album. It's his 4th album, came out in '73. He was in the band Taste. You guys may remember Taste. And one of the first guitarists to lead a power trio lineup. This is the first time he included a, keyboardist in his group. And I love Rory Gallagher. The stuff that the cat kind of burned for me at work, and I'm like, whoa, why have I not been listening to this? And I've seen a lot of like reissues and stuff like that, but this is like an OG 73 Politor pressing of this guy, and I'm pretty stoked to own it. And it, oh God, I just bent the corner. No, I didn't really. But it only been up there just hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And I went up there with the credit card that tied to my name, put it on. It's not a credit card, more of a debit card. I don't believe in credit. I don't believe in credit. Man can't pay for nothing out of cash. What he makes, what he has. You shouldn't be buying it. Shit. Real man don't use credit. He uses cash and horses and sometimes mules. And sometimes mules that have bum front right legs. And you get a cheaper discount rate for them. Because they're subpar fucking animals, that's why. Is it cheating that the camera's closer now? So if I do, oh, right in the middle, but it's closer. That's not fair. I can't even take credit for that. Can you take credit for that? Did you know today was David Bowie's, Sunday is David Bowie's birthday? So after the show, we're going to play a little David Bowie. I'll pull a little something out. We'll play a little David Bowie. It's funny, he's about 6 months older than my mom. So 47, he'd be 89 and 4/4 years old come Sunday. And I guess that's 70, right? He'll be 70 years. He would have been 70-year-old, but instead he died about it. My mom's still alive though, which I appreciate. Thank you, Lord. Yeah. So, it sucked to lose old David Bowie. But we'll play his music. Some people die, and you ain't got no music to play to remember them by. We're lucky with somebody like David Bowie. We'll play his records. It's real easy to remember shit like that when you can play his record albums, right? All right, folks, I appreciate the shit out of your balls and or vaginas. So stay tuned here to Grown Man Record Night. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with a little quickie, so to speak, and chip chat for everybody. Oh, God. Please, somebody up in the window. Ain't nobody here. So stay tuned for Grown Man Record Night.
Nintendo. It's for breakfast now. Nintendo. It's a cereal. Wow. Nintendo. Super Mario Jump. Nintendo. In a fruit flavored crunch. Nintendo. Here's Zelda too. Nintendo. It's very good news. Nintendo. You just can't lose. Nintendo cereal system is a super part of this nutritious breakfast. Nintendo. 2 cereals in 1. Wow.
Hey, you, listen here. I know you've been going to those burger places for lunch, and that ain't cool. You ain't been to Biscuitville for lunch. So the Big E's gonna have to club you. Now, take it easy, man. I want you to try Biscuitville Steak Club. It's big, and it's tender, and it's loaded with lettuce, tomato, bacon, cheese, and pickle on a big old fluffy biscuit. And they have chicken and country ham clubs, too. And that's a whole lot better than some old burger. So come to Biscuitville, and everybody get clubbed. Oh.
They came to New Texas from all across the galaxy. Some good, some bad, mostly bad. It was rough, really rough. I mean, they needed 1,000 lawmen. They got 1. But you know, it was enough. You might have heard of him. Brave Star.
Brave Star, weekday mornings at 6:30 on TV 21.
Just last night, I was lost in the jungle with Pitfall Harry, surrounded by giant scorpions and man-eating crocodiles.
Well, Harry and I just grabbed the van, swung through the trees, and over the tar pits and found the jungle treasure. It was really neat.
If you haven't met Pitfall Harry, you're missing the year's most incredible video game adventure. Pitfall for the Atari 2600 and in television.
Since I met Pitfall Harry, no other man will do.
Pitfall, designed by David Crane for Activision.
You know, a lot of people will tell you that drugs are cool and that everybody's doing them. But you know what? They're wrong. See, everybody's not doing drugs, and you don't have to try them to be cool. Look, I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but I am telling you that you don't have to do something you don't want to just to keep your friends happy. I mean, if that's the way they feel, then maybe they're not your friends, and maybe they're not as cool as you thought they were. This is how I feel, and if you think that makes me uncool, you're wrong.
For information, call 1-800-223-DARE.
Thanks for staying with us here on Grown Man Record Night. Keeping it moving on a little rare solo show this evening. Man, you know, Jay had brought something over. He brought some great sodas over. One of the things he brought, it is a soda that we have done before. And by done before, I mean, maybe in the first 1, 2, 3 episodes maybe. It is a very early, sorry, I'm looking up this thing. I don't know nothing about it. All right, yeah. All right, here we go. You guys wait on me. You wait on me. That's what you do. Sidral Mundet. It's this Mexican apple soda. Very interesting that it's this apple soda. In the first episode, the first time I did this soda, it's a cane sugar thing. Apple, very very low ingredient list. I can remember asking my mom, and you can find these at your local grocery. I've seen these around. That's why I'm doing this, and I don't feel bad about doing it. Because I told Jay we had done this. Jesus, Harold. I told Jay we had done this soda, and even more so that it's right up the road, so I can go get him another one, and I don't feel bad about it. Some of the other ones are good ones. I don't want to do a lot of. Somebody brings something over special, and they don't have to be here. Happen to be here for that episode. I don't really like to do that particular chip or soda. You know, you understand, right? So this Sidral Mundet. I used to ask my mom, I'm like, why the hell is there no apple soda? She's like, I don't know. It's like, why is it, I mean, that just seems like, of all the flavors, that's American, and like, why is there not an apple soda? Then I saw this in the Mexican section at my Food Line, more about Food Line later, and I had this to say about it. It's terrific. It's a great damn soda. It tastes like carbonated apple juice. Hello, come on. Breaker 19. Mexican apple flavored carbonated soft drink produced by FEMSA, not FEMA, FEMSA, distributed in the United States by the Novamex company. Also distributes the Huaritos and Sangria Cineral. All of those carried at the same place that I got this soda, or Jay got this soda. First bottled in 1902. So it's been around a long time. Man, I have to say, though, it's a great soda. If you guys have never tried this, for real, and if I happen to say that if Food Lion carries this, your local store probably does too, because they ain't got shit. Pretty sparkling. I mean, it really does taste like carbonated apple juice. And how can that be bad? Unless you just hate apple juice, this is fantastic. It would really go down. It really hit the spot. It's pretty sweet. But it's a little too sweet for me for the everyday type soda, for sure. Because I like very light, refreshing drinks or diet, totally. Really, I'm a diet guy. I'm not going to lie. But I like a club soda. I'll drink a club soda. I'll drink a whole 2 liter of club soda like over a day. No problem. And I like that. I just want something wet and a little sparkly and okay, cool. I don't need sugar and stuff, you know. That's what Friday nights are for, motherfucker. You guys like it when I swear a lot? Mm-hmm. Good soda. What the hell else what you want me to say about it? Kitty? That's the only other person here. Except the cat ain't no person. Hey, look here now. Speaking of Food Line, we've done some store brand challenges here on the program. Get out of here now. We've done some store brand challenges on the program before, and we've had some good results. We found some good store brands. We found some shitty store brands for sure. And Food Line, which you just mentioned, they're based out of Salisbury, North Carolina. They're predominantly over the southeast, North Carolina, and south probably. So you're talking, you know, from here down to Georgia, maybe some Florida, Virginia, a little. I mean, the southeast chunks. Maybe you got food lines where you're at, maybe you don't. But recently, just within the last month or so, Food Line has really upped their store brand potato chip game. Now, we promise to keep you apprised of this and apprised of suggestions. Now, if you are one of the lucky people that's able to get to a Food Line, they have for roughly $1.50 a bag, a regular price, the store brand dill pickle. These are OBSs for sure. Dill pickle chips that they just introduced. They also just introduced sriracha chips, a store brand sriracha potato chip. Both of these are very good. They're very light and crispy, kind of greasy in a very Lay's kind of way, or just a store brand chip kind of way. You guys know what I'm talking about. But individually, the sriracha ones, I'll tell you, they're a little warm, but for a sriracha chip, not crazy. Light, crisp, got a lot of junk on them, you know what I mean? Just enough heat to make you know you're eating a hot chip. Good with a cold beer, you know what I mean? Enough to make you like, oh damn, my tongue's burning, let me get me a beer real quick. That's how people act. Good chip. Dill, not my favorite dill chip by far. I mean, of course, you know, I don't know if you guys remember the 200th episode, we named a chip of the year. It was a dill chip. But this dill pickle, my only complaint about these, they're a little too greasy, a little too thin. They almost taste, they're so thin, I think they taste stale before the chip is actually really stale, just due to the cut of the chip. But my suggestion, and it's a suggestion I've had in my head, I've not actually done for weeks. If you notice, these are both OBSs, open bag specials. If you take the sriracha and you take the dill chip, oh, what's he doing? What's he doing? I'm not comfortable. Oh, no, I don't like this. I don't like this. You dump the dill and the sriracha, you close them up, you shake them. You got a little store brand sriracha dill thing going on. Oh my God. I noticed in the little pinchy I picked up, had some little red, but it had some green. And it was just like Christmas. Combining these two chips, that's as good as your mom's gravy right there. I don't personally know about your mom's gravy. That's probably better than what it is. That's a great combination. And I notice it does kind of knock down just on the random stab into the bag. Calms the sriracha burn down a little bit. That dill kind of smooths it out. So it actually makes it a little more manageable for somebody that maybe thinks the srirachas are a little too much on the end of things. You know what I mean? But I've not made a suggestion in a long time. And what better? See there? A little red or a little green. Take a dill chip and a hot chip. Generically speaking, it doesn't have to be Food Line name. You know, maybe you didn't get that shit where you're at. Try that shit though sometimes. Eat a half bag of something and a half bag of something else. Dump them into one another. Shake it up. The classic, I did Munchos, which are always $2, and those the Flamin' Hot Cheetos fry things. Those are always $2. take the Munchos and those and shake them up together. That way, because some of the hot chips, they're too hot by themselves. Mix it with something that's not. Oh, it's like buttered up bacon. You know what I mean? It's that good. Woo! Woo! Did you guys see Ric Flair lift all that weight? God, I love Ric Flair. I even like his daughter now because I've been my New Year's resolution is to watch more pro wrestling this year than I have in the last 15 or 20 years. So I'm going to get into pro wrestling so hard, and we're going to talk about it on the show. And I'm gonna have it ruin some of my relationships with people, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So stay tuned for more of that. Thanks for joining us for this snowbound episode where I'm sitting here by my damn self, talking about music and combining chips, borscht, and other stuff. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's like a toenail dipped in mayonnaise. I don't care for that at all. But we appreciate you joining us, and we hope you check you next time. Maybe Steve Fever and Jay will be back, and who knows the hell who shows up next week. Could it be Boss Man or Cameraman, or could be Grim Reaper. We won't be here no more. You know, Cameraman comes here, he always passes out early, and that's what the hell happens there. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us for this special Friday edition. What the fuck's that mean? I don't know. We do them every Friday. It's a great edition because I'm by myself, and you guys made me feel like I wasn't by myself. Oh, see there? So we appreciate you. Like the Facebook page and all that jazz, and we'll catch you next week for a brand new episode here on the one, the only, Grown Man Record Night. We'll see y'all later. Thanks for joining us.